What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I'm getting on across the block here. Hold on.
All right.
It's the most emotional experience that a person can go through to know that what they're working on is something that has reached a generation of people.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Oh my God.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White.
Right.
You should shut up and do the job.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
The producers, far left-wing activists in Hollywood, are turning on her, and Disney has canceled all of Rachel Zegler's appearances on their media platforms. Kind of tough.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion. But the reality is she's just not stable.
Behind the scenes, you guys know as well as I do that those executives like Spielberg are looking at that saying, Rachel Zegler can F right off.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Now, I'm guessing that she's not married. I'm guessing that she doesn't have kids. The movie is a complete disaster, by the way.
Rachel Zegler, like so many kids raised on TikTok, she's all for infantada is the only global solution.
Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of like, I don't know, vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic?
And they postponed the release of this thing, Ben, for a year because their star, Rachel Zegler, was so unlikable.
Saying that audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she does.
Every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You know what's interesting about all of this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Rachel Zegler.
I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed on.
Oh, really? Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck for, like, cry me a river? She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
I know this point has been made, but this truly is the worst casting maybe in the history of the film industry.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just and who can become a fantastic leader. And the reality is, you know, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion. But the reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings.
Yeah. Weird.
I would highly advise that you boycott this film, no matter how much your children love Snow White.
Fans are shocked, people in Hollywood are panicking, and Disney is said to be very angry about Rachel's behavior. Her sudden disappearance comes after a lot of backlash, including viral anger and more legal trouble. Sources say that Disney executives were already thinking about serious choices, such as enforcing morality clauses or cutting her bonuses. There was no press, no red carpets, just quiet. Now everyone is wondering if this is really a break or a well-thought-out escape. The time is what's making the fire worse. Buzzer disappeared right after it was said that Disney had an emergency meeting to figure out if she was to blame for what happened with Snow White.
And then they had to hire a special media consultant for her to follow her around all the time and make sure she didn't continue shitting on Snow White and the prince and young love and women who want to get married and Steven Spielberg, the executive producer of her previous movie, and white people who she claims wanted to know if she was really a Latina on her first movie.
Alex, what has been the reaction to Disney's latest expensive own goal?
Well, the reaction has been absolutely horrible. It is the worst box office from a Disney live action remake that they've ever done.
I mean, they're projected to lose between $200 and $400 million on this.
Some people think the studio is getting ready to sue, while others think talks are already going on behind the scenes. Zegler's silence and sudden move overseas have fans thinking if she's trying to avoid the media or something more serious, like legal trouble.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I'm getting on across. Hold on. Here. Hold on.
All right.
This is where things go wrong. Online detectives don't believe her team when they say she's just taking a break because she removed posts, jet trackers, and her schedule. Something is wrong, and no one knows when or if she'll be back. At the same time, Disney is in a panic after the failure of Snow White. Studio sources say they could lose up to $250 million. And now there's talk that they're putting pressure on Rachel to help them pay for it.
This woman shown here is not the actual woman playing Snow White, but the woman playing Snow White is named Rachel Zegler. And she and Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, were caught on the red carpet. This is actually from September of 2022, but it's resurfaced now because the movie's coming out, talking about what we should expect from Snow White.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Oh my God.
Nobody
Who
wants
wants
that.
a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? The outrage.
Insiders say that things went crazy after the movie's first weekend. Disney held a secret meeting to talk about whether Rachel Zegler's crazy behavior broke her contract, which said she couldn't make fun of the 1937 classic or promote political views. Her press tour did a lot of damage.
They've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now, and how they had her tweet out like a little, yay, Snow White, can't wait, so excited, I love to play her. And she did it and got like millions of views, and they were like, good job, Rachel. And then she, like minutes later, followed it up with, and never forget, free Palestine.
And isn't her co-star Jewish?
Yes, Gal Gadot, whatever.
Gadot. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
They tried, they flew an executive, one of the producers, out to go visit personally with Rachel Zegler to say, could you please take that down? Because we understand you can have your political views, but those aren't really helpful while you're trying to build an audience for a movie. Maybe you could save them for like your diary and your friends, but like maybe not, maybe just take the tweet down. And she wouldn't.
It's not just that she did bad interviews. She may have also broken promotion rules. Disney is now said to be thinking about taking back her awards, canceling deals, or even asking for money back. Someone in the company said she destroyed $1 billion business with her words, and no one else in the room agreed.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business.
Thanks.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White.
Right.
You should shut up and do the job.
Rachel Zegler runs away from her problems and hides out abroad. But back home, something crazy is going on. A movie made of pixel blocks. Yes, Minecraft just came out and took all the attention.
You can't tell me Minecraft is the worst movie of 2025 when Snow White exists. That's right.
When we look, you can see families were more than willing to go to the box office to support something like the Minecraft movie, while Rachel Zegler's Snow White continues to plunge.
People made fun of it. No one saw it coming, but a lot of people came, and now it's making a lot of money. Let's look at how this blocky adventure shattered Rachel's fairy tale and sent her running for cover.
She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is? Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
This is insane.
chicken joe.
Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends. That's how bad it is right now.
Big mouth Rachel Zegler lost it when she saw how poorly the Minecraft movie did at the box office compared to Snow White. You won't believe this. Disney basically set itself on fire and gave the win to a bunch of pixelated blocks. This happened while the House of Mouse kept pushing its sloppy live-action Snow White. Minecraft stormed in and wiped the floor, making Disney's latest flop look like a bad high school project on YouTube.
So it got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made $2 million.
And of course, this weekend, Minecraft came out, which has absolutely dominated the box office, done significantly better than analysts even projected. And now we're finding out that Snow White has officially crossed $160 million.
Some critics thought Minecraft would never do well in theaters because they thought it was too simple, too childish, and too blocky. But guess what? The movie opened to $300 million around the world, making all those experts' predictions laughable. On the other hand, Snow White only managed to make $77 million after weeks in theaters. Yes, you did hear that right. A lot of Disney advertising and hype didn't help the movie do well at all. It was so bad that we should just forget about it.
And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
Every way that Disney changed the story, it changed it for the worse.
Now for the really cool part, Disney thought they could ride the wave of nostalgia and ignore all the warnings fans gave them. But it turns out that sabotaging your own fairy tale isn't the best way to sell movie tickets. Trust me, this is just the beginning. What's next includes total boardroom panic, wild blame games, and a lead actress who forgot she's playing one of the most famous movie characters ever.
Turned over $157 million while earning another $144 million internationally. The Minecraft video game was introduced in 2011 and sold more than 300 million copies. So it actually has a fan base, user base, people that care about it. In theory, Snow White should as well. Snow White's the movie that made Disney, the studio. They should have been more cautious and careful with their own IP. It's $1 billion IP. The Disney Snow White, faithfully adapted, would have made $1 billion.
The halls were full of people. Some showings were so loud that it felt more like a rock concert than a movie. Seriously, things got so crazy that the police had to come and take some kids home because they were having too much fun.
Okay, and the cops had to escort the rowdy teenagers out. The Minecraft movie is doing something magical. It's creating a live audience reaction event where people are going to just be part of something to interact with the movie itself. The kind of thing that really creates like a kinetic movement.
And can you guess who is the main character actor? Jack Black has said some crazy things over the years, but when it comes to big laughs and crazy energy, the guy knows how to fill the theater. People love the movie's fun, lighthearted vibe and how it stayed true to the game spirit, which is something Disney probably should have done with Snow White. And here's the kicker. Review sites gave it a weak 40%, but real people gave it a solid 87%, which says it all.
You can see here the Minecraft movie is 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, 87% audience score. That's kind of all that matters because these people pay the bills, these people don't. Teens in suits shouting lines, cheering, like it was a concert. Check out the energy, unreal. Disney Snow White is flopping hard. Why did Minecraft win? Because they stayed true to their actual audience. If Disney had made a faithful adaptation to the original Snow White, it would have made $1 billion.
While Minecraft continues to break records, sell out theaters, and bring families together, Rachel Zegler is watching from behind the scenes as everything falls apart on the internet. Things haven't gotten better. In fact, they've gotten worse. People are still analyzing her apology word for word. Some users are comparing it to PR issues from the past, while others think the exact words sound like damage control templates that big studios have used in the past. The general opinion was that it wasn't even her words, but rather another post written by Disney's legal team to fix a PR disaster they should have seen coming. And that's what most fans really think now. The apology felt too clean, too scripted, too corporate. There was no emotion, no real ownership, and no sign of someone who really understood what went wrong. It came off cold and robotic. like a memo instead of a message. Instead of calming down the backlash, it made it worse. People weren't moved, they were annoyed. It confirmed what many had already thought. Insiders say Rachel Zegler wasn't speaking from the heart because maybe she never was. And behind closed doors, the mood is just as bad. Rachel is devastated. There are rumors that she's broken down crying more than once, completely overwhelmed by how quickly things turned against her. Not long ago, she was supposed to be the new face of Disney. She had spin-offs planned, brand deals were being worked on, international campaigns were ready to go, and people were calling her the next big thing. Now, her team is reportedly falling apart. Some want her to go all in on a bold comeback. Others say it's time to disappear, lay low, disappear from the spotlight. Let the storm pass if it ever does, because this isn't just a hiccup, it's a full-on crash. Rachel Zegler's Hollywood dream didn't just fade away, it blew up in her face. While she hides out in Dubai, the news is all about Minecraft, a game made of blocks, and her movie is being dragged through the mud. The difference couldn't be more brutal. One movie is full of fun, joy, and heart, but it bombs at the box office. The other tries to fix a beloved classic, but audiences scold it. And it bombs even harder than anyone could have imagined. And what about Disney? The studio that used to rule the world is now fumbling the bag every week, and executives are pointing fingers. The marketing is a mess, and fans are sick of the snow. White was meant to be a sure thing, but it turned into a lesson in how not to act on and off screen. And Rachel is now the face of that failure, whether it's fair or not. All of her comments about how the original story was out of date, her jabs at the prince, and her condescending tone added up, and now she's taking the blame while the studio quietly pulls back. It's sad, shocking, and probably not the ending she had in mind when she put on that famous dress. So, what's next? Will she get over it? Will Disney try to act like none of this happened? Or is this the start of a full-on lawsuit over that rumored $120 million loss? Rachel Zegler's silence says more than any scripted apology could ever say. And this story is far from over. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We know you have a lot to say. If you want more uncensored updates on Hollywood's biggest train wrecks, wildest flops, and behind-the-scenes chaos, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. This ride is just getting started.